Baseball is back, and we want to celebrate by slashing the cost of any daily picks packages. That includes a baseball play by 50%, including 5% best bets. This amazing promotion runs from Thursday, April 7th, when 18 of the 30 MLB teams take part in opening day, to midnight on Wednesday, April 13th, and you can get $25 daily packages for $12.50, 29 daily combo packages for $14.50, $35 5% best bets for $17.50, and $39 5% best bet combo packages for $19.50. Whether you never bet on MLB or just like discounts, save 50% on baseball picks for the entire first week of the baseball regular season.
Hey guys, welcome into a very happy Friday. Welcome into day 2 of the 2022 Major League Baseball season. Games underway already, but plenty to be excited about. We got a few more we're going to break down for you here on today's slate. We're going to do it with two of the finest as we welcome in Brian Leonard in the house, as well as Dave Kochen. Nothing like being able to talk baseball this time of year. One day in the books here, Bri, which is great. Another day already underway in the Bronx. I know the Tigers also underway, but what do you got heading into this Friday evening? What do you got for us over at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, I had 2 plays in baseball. There are early games, the White Sox full game and the Red Sox in the first 5. I do have 2 or 3 plays up in hockey tonight, one of them being at 5%. 25 and 11 in my history on 5% in hockey, and I really love this game tonight. Love the setup, and I've got a 5% up there. 25 and 11 once again in my history on 5% in hockey.
Guys, BL15, by the way, remember that code. You want to go over there and grab that 5% best bet right now. BL15, get $15 off. Dave, I know you're excited here. Baseball, it is finally upon us. What do you got for us tonight lined up at WagerTalk.com?
Well, I had a good first night, although I got caught on the wrong side of a first 5-9 deal on the Padres game. I played the first 5 on the dog, and they lost that. Then big rally in the 9th inning, and they won the game. So that's going to happen once in a while. But the other game was a first 5 play, would have been first 5 full game, wouldn't have mattered on the Reds, big price. So I ended up with a nice profit on day 1. A couple of smaller plays today, a 2% and a 3%, so nothing big. I'm not going to be jumping out there with a bunch of big stuff early on. Be watching mostly and learning, and also checking out the Masters. Day 1, pretty good for my 2 outrights, and we'll see what happens today. They haven't teed off yet, and it looks like a lot of wind, so keeping my fingers crossed as far as that goes.
Yeah, the tale of tea times there. Early guys may get away with it. Afternoon guys, good luck there. But maybe same thing can be said in some of these games here in the MLB, where wind and weather certainly are going to play a part early on as we take a look at that opening day scoreboard here, guys. And Dave mentioned that late game last night. They didn't hit the ball at all right up until the 9th inning, and then that was all they needed. It's a fickle game like that, isn't it, Dave?
The crazy twist of the day is the game winner on National Beer Day. It was National Beer Day yesterday. It was by a guy named Beer. DH for the Diamondbacks, and he came through with a 3-run homer and won the game.
And the Brewers lost on National Beer Day.
Beer Day. Exactly. You can't make it up here, guys. Unbelievable. All right, well, let's start here. Game number 1 we're going to talk about here today. Let's welcome in the Dodgers as they are going to be playing host to the Colorado Rockies here tonight. Should be a interesting one here as the Dodgers get ready to begin their season, as do the Rockies. So talk to me here, Brian, about what you think with this matchup between the Dodgers and the Rockies here.
Yeah, I'm always looking to fade teams coming into Colorado because they've had such a good record at home, bad record on the road over the last, decade or so. But I can't do it here with the Dodgers, as you've got, the ace going on the mound and Walker Buehler. Big pitching advantage there. Although I've got to say that Kyle Freeland's pitched pretty well in Colorado since coming over there. But when I take a look at the players on this that are playing tonight, it's interesting that the Rockies only have two left-handers going against Buehler today, Charlie Blackmon and the switch hitter in Ryan McMahon. They got a lot of right-handers, which is not a good thing going against a dominant right-handed pitcher like Walker Buehler. So I don't think Colorado's going to be able to score much in this game, even though they are playing in Colorado, and all the teams now have the humidifiers going in for the baseballs. But it's tough to lay $2 on the road with the Dodgers in Colorado, but that would be the only way I would look here. You look over the lineup for the Dodgers; they're all excellent players. They've got a deeper bench this year than they've had in the past. Bringing in Kimbrel as a closer definitely helps them out. As you know, they got guys. That's one of the deepest bullpens you're going to find in baseball here, and you've got Mike White up who made the team, and he's got a really talented repertoire for his future. So, like the Dodgers here, not going to lay the $2, but that would be the only way to look at this one.
Yeah, it didn't take long for the money to come in once it was posted there, Dave, on the Dodgers. Kind of got steamed up to that $2 mark here. How do you approach this one?
Well, look, let's find out if the Rockies do what they did last year. Because I don't think there was anybody who had a more dramatic home road split dichotomy than the Rockies. They were just terrible away from home. But they were fabulous at Coors Field. They had a real home field advantage last year. And I can't ever recall seeing this in their history. But last year, their pitchers, right up and down the roster, their starting pitchers, were all better at home than they were on the road. I mean, these guys put up really good numbers at home. So I can't say that history is going to repeat itself, because in baseball that's not necessarily the case. But at least early on, I'm going to be very cautious about going against this Rockies team when they're at home. I don't think they're much of a team, and I think it'll probably show up again on the road. But I'm leery of fading them at home early on based on the way they played last year and pitched last year at Coors. So if I had to make a bet of this game, I might take the 1.5 with the Rockies. Expect a close game and see if you can get there at plus 1.5. The price won't be bad. That's probably the way I'd lean in this game.
Yeah, not a bad way to go, too. The total also, guys, got pushed up a little bit from 11 to 11.5. After all, it is Colorado. But Brian mentioned humidors now in every park here, guys. We'll see exactly what kind of effect, if any, that gets ready to play here. Dodgers and the Rockies, 4 o'clock Eastern time, I believe, just after there will be the first pitch, and people will get to bust out their Freddie Freeman Dodger jerseys here today for the first time. We'll also take a look here, guys, in Toronto as the Rangers get ready to take on the Blue Jays in this one. And a lot of people feel excited about what the Rangers may bring to the table here. John Gray versus Jose Barrios. And I know, Dave, the Rangers were a big 5% bet of yours last year to start the season. You faded their win total. You think we're going to get any improvement here this year? And does it start today in this game?
Oh, they're definitely improved. I mean, Marcus Semien and Corey Seager up the middle. That's a pretty good combination. They didn't have that last year, that's for sure. So, yeah, they're going to be improved. Their pitching is still bad. B-A-D. Their ace is going to be John Gray, and he will go here. This is a team that's going to give up a lot of runs. You might be looking at overs in their games, particularly when they get back home. And we'll see what the ball does in that ballpark this year. Barrios is interesting. If you look at what guys did in spring training, you probably want to stay as far away from Barrios as possible. He wasn't good. But it doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. A lot of guys, especially veterans, they're just working on getting loose, finding their command, working on their pitches. So I don't put much into that. And one thing that you do want to look at, to me, is what Barrios did out of the gate last April. He was sensational. I wrote down his numbers. 196 batting average, 275 on base, 283 slugging percentage, 557 OPS. Those are really good numbers. So he started off the season in great fashion last year. And I kind of anticipate the same thing here. I made this price. I didn't make it all that high. I made it about a $1.65. So it's not something I want to bet on. But there's just not enough here to get me on the Rangers, that's for sure. And I guess I'd have to lean to the Blue Jays. High expectations. Whether they can live up to those, to all the hype, we'll have to wait and see. They look like a very good team on paper. And Barrios will be a key. So let's see what kind of a start he gets off to. I'll call it a lean to the Blue Jays, but certainly not a bettable game for me.
It should be interesting with Gray, too, right? No more Coors Field, Bry. What are we going to get from him? Is it really just Coors Field? It's going to be an interesting matchup here today. What do you think we get?
Yeah, Dave hit on something when he said he thinks his team's going to have a lot of overs in the future, and I agree. When I take a look at the numbers that I projected for the entire season, I don't have a single pitcher on the Texas Ball Club that's going to have an ERA under 4, and that includes the bullpen. Gray's the best of the best. Martin Perez, Dane Dunning, Taylor Hearn, Spencer Howard. Spencer Howard, I think, has a nice future, but for the most part, they're the retreads or younger guys. And John Gray, to me, is clearly the best pitcher on this staff, but he's going up against what I consider the best offense in baseball in the Toronto Blue Jays. And Texas last year didn't have much hitting. I think this is a pretty good offense this year, especially today when they're going up against a right-hander. They got Brad Miller leading off. He's a left. He's a switcher batting lefty. He's a pretty good hitter. He's not been much of a fielder, but he's a very good hitter that stays under the radar. But you've got Miller, Simeon, Seager, Garver, Nathaniel Lowe, who came out of nowhere last year, Adolis Garcia, who was the big first half sensation. And then you've got the Calhoun brothers from different mothers, Cole and Willie. And then Andy Ibanez is probably one of the best number 9 hitters in Major League Baseball. So I like this offense. And with the problems that, obviously Dave pointed out with Barrios, don't know what he was doing. A lot of pitchers work on different things in the spring training, but still didn't get a lot of innings in. So this line opened 9.5 and was bet down to 9. I disagree with that. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game here, and I like the over here in this game. And a lot of it has to do with it's early in the season, and in the Rangers will have to go to the bullpen. And when your 8th-inning guy or co-closer is Greg Holland, this is a team I want to bet against in that situation. So I'm going to take the over in this game.
Yeah, should be an interesting one. 9 guys is what that opened up with at the Rogers Center. A lot of right-handed bats in that Toronto lineup. Could be a lot of balls flying all over the park there. It should be a good one. And listen, game 2, I mean, we've got a couple of first games of the season for teams here today, but game number 2 coming your way between the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds, who cashed, guys, as a dog last night against the world champion Atlanta Braves here. So, Dave, what do you think we get in round 2 here tonight with Charlie Morton going for the Braves?
A big part of the reason I played the Reds yesterday was that I thought they would be more focused on baseball than the Braves would be. The Braves, I mean, there was just all kinds of stuff going on there yesterday. They had some kind of a parade deal where the players all arrived at the same time and then did this walkthrough to go to the ballpark. Then they had musical acts, and then you got the pennant ceremony. Just a completely unroutine day for the Braves, and I like going against teams in those first game situations, and it worked out very well last night. I got some good pitching from the Reds, and Max Fried, who has a tendency to start slowly, had a bad inning, and the Reds took advantage of it, and I got paid. The Reds will be facing a team that's focused on playing baseball today. Braves will be back in their routine here. Charlie Morton, I thought he might retire a couple of years ago. He just keeps rolling along. Well, I'm not joking. It wasn't said to be funny. There had been speculation from Morton himself that he might be ready to call it quits. But he's still rolling along. Had a good year last year, and there's just no reason to believe he's not going to deliver again for the Braves this year. San Martin is an interesting young pitcher for the Reds. He looked good at the end of last year. Only, a cup of coffee in the major leagues in September, but he pitched well. And lefties who have not been seen by opponents can sometimes be really tricky. So I think I might lean to the under in this ball game. I think San Martin can give the Reds a few good innings. I expect Morton to do his usual good stuff, and I'm not all that enamored with the Reds' offense, to be honest with you. Nice to see them score 6 yesterday, but I don't think this is going to be a team that knocks the ball all over the place. Part of the reason I bet the Reds under on their win total this year is they play in a ballpark where you need offense, and I think they're going to be the second best offensive team in that park in a lot of games. So that's why I think the Reds are not going to be very good. But tonight, I think you might see the pitchers in control. So I'm going to give a lean to the under in this game.
I'm going to look at the under hovering around that 9 mark. Also, we're starting to see it's interesting, too, Brian, that maybe a lot of anti-Brave sentiment in the marketplace to start this year, thinking maybe it's going to take a little while to get back to reality. We saw it yesterday in the market. We're seeing it again today with Cincinnati. What do you think?
Yeah, Cincinnati's taking money both days, and the games that David talked about, I was on with him. I had Cincinnati in the first 5 for the similar reason, and I had Arizona in the first 5, and of course they win that game late. But I'm leaning a little bit more with the Braves here. Dave pointed it out. I watched that game yesterday, and if you did watch that game, a lot of pomp and circumstance. And I usually go against teams in the first game of the season when they have the ring ceremony or the pennant ceremony or whatever it is, and you could tell there was a lot of things going on for the Braves, so that's out of their system now. And they fell behind early and stayed that way the entire game. So they got to stew on that for a while. It wasn't like the Padres could stew on it for the one inning that at the end where they blew it all. But the Braves have come focused today. And Dave's right. This Cincinnati offense, they're going young. They traded away some of their better players. They did bring in Tommy Pham, which kind of, I guess it's good for him if you're an owner of Tommy Pham in fantasy. But I really didn't understand bringing in a veteran player in that regard. He's got 6 years of major league service. Moustakas 10, Votto 14. But for the most part, all the other guys are young, especially when you take a look at this starting rotation. San Martin last year, at the very end of last year. And then Hunter Green's going to be in there, and they've given him a spot. And Gutierrez is also a very young pitcher. So Tyler Mahle, at 4 years of major league experience, is by far the most veteran player on this pitching staff for the starters. But Cincinnati, I don't expect much offense out of him. Charlie Morton's a guy who has always outpitched his metrics. He's a guy that doesn't impress you when you look at him, but he's always been very good. And I was kind of shocked when he talked about possibly retiring a couple of years ago. That's something you don't see. It's sort of like the catcher for the San Francisco Giants retiring this year. That one came out of nowhere to me. So, but I lean with the Braves here, but it's just in an unplayable range right now. If money continues to come in on Cincinnati, we get this thing in the the 170 range or so. I may be interested in 170, 173, but it doesn't look like it's getting down there. But 175 would probably be my limit. 175 or lower, I think I'll have a little bit on the Braves here. Other than that, I'll be sitting this one out.
Well, see what, Dave said he leaned towards the under in this game, and here come the 8.5. Way to go, Dave. Appreciate that. Braves, guys, Cincinnati tonight, game number 2 should be also fantastic. It was a Dogs night last night, 5-2 in Major League Baseball. The Dogs handled some business. Will they do it here again today? Let's find out if these guys have a game they like a little bit more than the rest. So, Dave, I'll come back to you. What about a best bet for us here today?
Well, I like to take tendencies on starting pitchers and see if they can duplicate them. Not for big bets, mind you, but I'll take a look at John Means, who's starting for the Orioles today at Tampa. Now, his numbers last year against the Rays were not good at all. But last year's stuff doesn't mean a whole lot to me in terms of pitcher versus opponent. What I tend to look at is pitchers that did well early and see if they can duplicate that. And John Means was absolutely fantastic early in the season for the Orioles. He got injured, and he was never quite the same after that. He when he came back from the injury, he really struggled for a while. Then he started to put things back together again late in the season. John Means is not going to blow people away with his stuff, but he's a location guy, and when he's locating, he puts the ball in places where batters just don't make good contact. A lot of soft contact against Means, and he was so good early on last year. I'm going to see if he can't duplicate that here. So I think Means has a chance to do well against the Tampa Bay Rays today. It's not a big play for him, just a small 2% play, but at a nice price. I took Means and the Orioles to win the first 5 innings against the Rays and McClanahan. McClanahan was all over the place with his command in spring training. That sometimes does carry over with young pitchers. So I think at a big price, worth a little bit of a spec on the Orioles and Means for the first 5 innings. This is one where if you are not able to list pitchers, and some books are not allowing you to list pitchers this year, I wouldn't play at action. Just in the crazy event that Means doesn't go. I like listing pitchers, and I would suggest, by the way, to everybody who's out there, find books that allow you to list pitchers. In the long run, it's going to save you some money.
Absolutely. And big split last year, too, Dave. Baltimore crushed lefties compared to righties, too. So we'll see if that continues, including Trey Mancini, who was much better against lefties than he was righties. Talk to us here, Brian. Which one of these games are you looking at here tonight?
I'm going a little bit off the board here. Take a look at that Houston-LA Angels game. Nice pitching battle yesterday. Houston wins that game. It's looking that Houston's got the same exact lineup coming in, and one change for the Angels. I do want to point out that a lot of these, because we had the shortened spring training, a lot of these players didn't play a lot of games in a row. So if you find a team that is playing guys 5 games in a row or something to that effect, that they probably didn't play that in the preseason, that may be an advantage on going against those teams because they could be a little tired early on. You see guys resting as the season goes on, but since they didn't play a lot in the preseason, that could be an advantage we can take advantage of later on here. But when I have 2 teams that are similarly talented, like these 2 teams here, obviously I think Houston's a better team than the Angels are, and one team wins the first game, I'm looking normally to come back with the opposition in the second game. We're looking at 2 guys who are listed as the number 2 pitchers. They're getting the spots right here. But Jake Odorizzi is the number 5 pitcher from this Houston standpoint. Verlander, Ikeda, and Garcia are all better than he is. So we're really getting the 5th starter for the Houston Astros here, going against what I would consider maybe the 3rd or 4th starter for the Angels. Ohtani's better. Sandoval's better. Syndergaard's better, but yet they've got Detmers going here. So that points me a little bit towards the over in a situation like this, but I really like Reed Detmers. He's a guy coming out of college, real strong. He was drafted in the first round, 10th pick in the draft out of 2020. And this is a guy who got a little bit of a taste of Major League Baseball yesterday and stunk. Or not yesterday, last year, and stunk. And everybody will look at that and say, well, this guy stinks. He's not any good. And all these other guys are getting all the props because they haven't played in the majors before. These are the kind of guys that you find value in fantasy baseball as well as in betting. And I like that situation here because I really don't like Odorizzi. He's the number 5 guy, in my opinion, for Houston. And you're getting a quality guy who will be near the top of this rotation next year for the Angels. So I like the Angels here, and I think the line is fair at -115. And I think it's a cheap number at 115. I like this situation for the Angels to bounce back and even this series.
Yeah, and Odorizzi don't miss a lot of bats, does he? Brian Leonard here, recapping it one more time. He likes those Angels here. You're going to lean that way at a small price on the money line to bounce back here against the Houston Astros. And Dave, he likes the Orioles in the first 5. Make sure Means goes, guys. Make sure he is going in that spot here, plus 145. Nice price there in the first 5. And then make sure you head over to WagerTalk.com. Brian Leonard told you he's got a 5% best bet in the NHL tonight. Remember that code BL15, guys. That's $15 off his 5% best bet in the NHL. And get ready for a whole lot of baseball coming up this weekend. Dave, too, he is ready to go. Tonight, MLB. It's a great card. It's going to be a great card all weekend long. And take advantage of those season-long opportunities, guys, at WagerTalk.com for both Dave and Brian. On this Friday, we are off and running in the MLB. On behalf of Dave and Brian Leonard, guys, we appreciate you hanging with us. Back again on Monday as first pitch off and running. The Major League Baseball season is underway. Best of luck with your plays, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Good luck.
Baseball is back, and we want to celebrate by slashing the cost of any daily picks packages. That includes a baseball play by 50%, including 5% best bets. This amazing promotion runs from Thursday, April 7th, when 18 of the 30 MLB teams take part in opening day, to midnight on Wednesday, April 13th, and you can get $25 daily packages for $12.50, $29 daily combo packages for $14.50, $35 5% best bets for $17.50, and $39 5% best bet combo packages for $19.50. Whether you never bet on MLB or just like discounts, save 50% on baseball picks for the entire first week of the baseball regular season.